Happy Monday, gang. It's Scott Curcio from Baird Real Estate in Chicago. This week's Monday Market Minute, our first in August, is not so much going to be talking about the market, but talking about a topic in the market, which is dual agency. Now, this update's going to be a little longer because I just have my own personal experience with it. Now, what, first of all, is dual agency? That is when the buyer and the seller are both represented by the same broker. Generally, the buyer is the one that maybe comes and is interested in a property and the seller represents it. They either are working with that agent already or they do not have an agent. Now in dual agency, as brokers, you have to, I jokingly say you have to become Switzerland, right? You can't really advise either party. And we personally just purchased a home where we were in a dual agency situation. And as a rule, I don't do dual agency on my listings because I've always said, rightfully so, that I think it's the buyer that loses out because the seller and the buyer have different time periods of relationship with that broker, right? The seller has been consulted with that broker for quite some time, and if a buyer comes in and they're going to be repped by the same person, the buyer is new to the equation, which means they probably have less time with that advice. So my little nugget for you today is really think long and hard about whether that's going to be comfortable for you. I can say that having gone through it on my own, I certainly would not do it again, and that we will continue to say with our sellers that we're not going to do dual agency. If a buyer comes in that is one of ours, we're going to refer them to a colleague in our office or a member of the team that's not affiliated with the deal because we want to make sure that every party feels 100% represented. So just something to think about. You know, sometimes it can work, especially if it's a situation where, you know, that agent that you're talking with has an in on a property maybe that's not quite listed or in a very competitive market is going to fight for you. But just know that you will probably be giving something up in terms of your representation and how you feel. And it's even more important to have a really good team around you. I'd recommend you find your own, if you're in a state that uses attorneys, find your own attorney, find your own home inspector, do those pieces on your own so that you really vet. It's going to take more work for you. But I really feel like you'll come out in a kind of on top and in a good situation. So that's a little bit about dual agency. If you've just watched this video and you have more questions about it and maybe some of the pitfalls, what to watch out for, and how it also can be a good thing, feel free to message me, send me an email, and we'll happy to get some more questions answered. In the meantime, have a great week. And next week, we'll get back to more market performance specific updates. Although who knows, we'll see what happens. Every week's a little different right now, and I may have different thoughts come next week. Have a great one.